Hello and welcome back, or welcome to the Post 20 podcast. My name is Evan. You're now listening to episode 83 of the show. It's going to be a recap of the round of 16 of Euro 2020, which is actually happening in 2021. I'm joined, as always, by my co host, Matt. What's going on this week, brother?
Big preparations for 4th of July. Work for both of us is getting out of control,
Out of control.
whether it's people beachgoers and that, or just those same people ordering a shit ton of stuff on Amazon.
Yeah,
I today all the city carriers didn't get back till like 6 o'clock altogether, so we all worked 10 hours a day.
brutal.
Just like I was delivering on the islands. I was delivering like 4 or 5 things to houses I've never delivered to since I started.
Yeah,
It's
just,
just these people that are down for a few weeks or just the week or whatever. I don't know. It gets pretty fucking annoying because it just extends my day. And like when we have weather like today, like scattered thunderstorms and stuff, like it's a pain. I get fucking soaked and drenched, and
yep,
then I'm just miserable. And then when it lets up, the humidity just picks up even more because the water's evaporating again. So
yeah.
it's just a cycle of being annoying, but we're all off on the 4th, so that's good, like as a national holiday. But I'm gonna be really pissed because the 5th and 6th are gonna be absolutely fucked. Like
Yeah,
the fifth is gonna be packages only, and he has like 11 people working because we're gonna be absolutely crammed. The office is gonna be overflowing,
yeah.
and then the 6th is gonna be a normal day, like mail and everything, but we're gonna be like two days behind because a day off and then packages only. So it's gonna be annoying.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be an absolute fucking nightmare. To be honest, that's what that
Yeah.
sounds like. My schedule is pretty much the same. Just absolute nightmare, day after day. We'll sell out of all of our stuff on the 4th.
Mm.
What day is the 4th? The 4th
It's
is,
Sunday.
yeah. Good night, dude. I'm working Sunday and Monday, so I will be trashed both of those days. I'll be completely knackered,
Mm.
hammered. But we just have to get through it. Once the winter comes around, like, I don't know how much reprieve you get, but it's definitely, the workload's definitely not as bad. I feel like in the winter, right?
Yeah, the winter's not bad. Maybe like 1 or 2 weeks around Christmas
Yeah,
time, it'll pick up again, obviously, because people are ordering gifts and that.
yeah.
So it's not as bad as the summer. It's just like a short uptick
Hmm.
in work, but after that it goes back down. So
That's
I'm
good.
looking really forward to the fall. Obviously, work eases up, and then uh, the prem starts. All the domestic leagues will start up. Club soccer here will pick up. So we'll get back into that. I was just talking to Hick, our director of coaching for the club, and
Hmm.
placing our teams and what flight we want. So we're gonna try flight 3 again because in the spring we moved up from 4 to 3.
Hmm.
I think we've touched on this before. With the spring, there's not as many teams committing to it because kids play other sports, whether it's baseball or lacrosse or
Oh,
other things that go on in the spring. And then they merged us with Flight 2 teams, so we were playing teams 2 flights above us. So it was a big reality shock because in the fall we won and dominated almost every game, and then came the spring we finished 2-6,
right.
and it upset some players and mainly parents, and we lost two more kids. One because of the quality of team we have, they just wanted to win and wanted better quality around their son. And then the other one is more focused on baseball right now, but they were more optimistic of if it didn't work out that he'll come back to the club easily. So tryouts really helped. We got some new kids coming in. So, really nice one or two of them that are really going to help fill those voids. It's
Hmm.
just going to be very, very important because as every year is restarted in the fall, I found that those first 3 weeks before our first game are critical because I have to cram so much fundamental structure of how we need to play before our first game, because our first game usually we get rocked because the kids just don't pay attention.
Right.
So the COVID thing being gone, teams aren't we're not gonna have to merge two teams together to train. It'll be one solo team. We'll have about 13 guys, depending on how many show up to every practice, and they're going to be U10, so they should be a little more attentive. Maybe we'll get one or two that get an early growth spurt. We're going to need it because these teams are going to bully us if we don't. Because
Hmm.
I feel like that's how we've always been. We've been like a smaller team. But yeah, I could do like a solo episode about this. I was thinking about doing it in the fall.
Yeah, it
Like
might be that might be something like worth chronicling. That'd probably be actually pretty cool.
yeah, it could be like more for myself just to document like our progress and what my thoughts are and what we need to work on. It would be nice to look back on and think
Yeah.
a couple years from now when where the kids are at that point, just to look back at what we were currently struggling with. So that might be something tease that'll come probably mid-August when our season picks up. Go over training schedules and current players development in that. And it'll be cool when they get older to mention this and they go listen back. That'd be something cool to think
Yeah,
about.
that's I was thinking that's probably actually for the guys that take it seriously enough and stick with it, that'd probably be something really cool to go back and listen to.
Hmm. But yeah, I think that took up a lot of the intro. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on with you?
No, no, I'm not really up to anything. I hang out with Morgan and my girlfriend. For those of you who are maybe listening for the first time, and I don't really do much else. I mean, a game that I like to play just had a reset, so you have to start from fresh. That's fun. I've been doing that the past like 2 days, but other than that, work, golf when I can. But that's kind of slowed up too because it's hard to get out
Yes.
there. Like I played the other day and it's hot as fuck. Like I get out there at 2:30 because I know the old heads aren't going to be out there. I know I'm not going to have a long round. Like I played with two
Yeah.
two of my buddies. We somehow managed to both get off. And I get there. He goes, "Oh, it's cart path only because of the heat." I said, "Excuse me, it's what? It's cart path only because of heat, not water or like course isn't muddy." He said, "Nah, it's heat." He said, if you leave the cart on the course too much, it kills the grass." I was like, "Yeah, I guess, but like, seriously?" So instead, you're gonna make everybody that plays walk an extra 2 miles in their round from the cart path to the fairway, doing that all the time. Like, I was beat. By the time 18 was done, I was fucking hammered. My body hurt so bad. I was using my 7 iron as a fucking cane on like
Oh my
14.
God.
I
You
well,
aged.
I've been having a weird, like, I've been pulling it a couple weeks now in a row. Like every time I recover from it, I re-pull it. Like my left groin muscle. Oh, it's awful, dude. I don't know what it's from. It started to happen since I've stopped playing like more than once a week, but like after 10 or 11 holes, my left groin is tweaked.
Really?
So yeah, I had to use my 7 iron as a cane, but I'm
Jesus.
good. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel better now. I felt okay at work today, so
That's good to hear. Nice little R&R.
yeah.
I had my own injury problems over the weekend because we had the big beach soccer tournament in our
Yeah.
area. It's the biggest one in the world.
Hmm.
We thank God it happened this year because the club would have probably folded if we
I was
didn't.
gonna say you guys probably would
Uh,
have gone bankrupt, huh?
we easy. We've been fucked. Because going 2 years without it would have been absolute scenes. Because the 1 year without it was a fucking pain. I already touched on that earlier, but
Yeah.
yeah, I helped run the event. My parents helped as they always do. We did our little things. The tournament ran pretty smooth. There were some issues with players being double rostered.
Yeah.
Police having to be involved with like some parents getting in fights, fucking drunk on the beaches because
Of
all.
course.
And I kept saying it. I was like, the worst behavior, unfortunately, is at the young kids' ages, like 8, 9, 10-year-olds. The parents take it so fucking seriously, being their first couple beach blasts, and especially this year, having gone a year without it. So you
Yeah.
have even more people that haven't experienced it before. So parents get really into it, and they don't realize like they need to fucking settle down because it just takes away from the kids and the game and all that. And I mean, our me and like a bunch of the boys, you know them. We
Yeah.
all got a team together. Joe played the one game with us. We won 12-6. He had 8 of the goals,
Yeah, of
dude.
course.
He in that. I mean, unfortunately, the game we played, the other team was awful. They were
Yeah,
just like chill dudes, like hungover and that, like kind of how we were a little bit.
yeah,
But they were by far the worst team we played, and I wish we had Joe at an actually decent game because we probably would have made the final if he was there. If he was there all 3 games, we would have made the final
yeah,
easily. And Tanner didn't show up the first day either because he went out the night before, and then
yeah.
he had to help run his dad's charity event or something 4 to 6 in the morning.
Right.
So he didn't get any sleep, and he was just out of it. So he missed our first day, and it ultimately happened. We ultimately lost because of the first game we lost.
Yeah,
We went up 1-0, and then we had a chance to go up 2. We had a penalty, and we had guys that haven't touched a soccer ball since the last beach blast.
yeah,
So 2 years without touching a ball.
yeah. You're fucked.
So we missed 3 penalties, scored 2 own goals, and we had 3 guys throw up during the game out of the 8 of us there.
Yeah,
So
because of
we lost.
fitness or being hungover or
Uh,
both.
I think it was more the fitness thing. The sands, that first game, the sand was so fucking like it wasn't
Was it
broken in.
loose? Yeah,
Yeah, it was very loose. Like the second game and then this game on Sunday, like personally, like I was fine. I played pretty much the whole game.
yeah,
I mainly just played in the back because most of the time we played a diamond. We did like a one two
yeah. The
one
one to
because
one.
it's 4 and a goalie.
Yep.
I just played like that center back, like Thiago Silva role. I was just like barking at people to pinch and
Yeah,
step up, and I cover for him. And most of the time I was just blocking runs because it's almost impossible to dribble in that shit.
yeah. You
So
just have to
I'd
pass.
rather take the chance of them having to shoot really far out and I block it or dribble rather than
Yeah,
give a breakaway pass. But overall, short story, it was a good time and it worked out well. I had like a bad ankle. There was a volley opportunity in the first game of the weekend.
yeah,
Popped up in the air. It was like 30 feet in the air. It dropped, and I was thinking in my head, I was coming down. I'm gonna fucking bang this top corner. I made good contact with it, and it went. I was on target. The goalie saved it, but I like hyperextended my foot. I've had problems with it in the past where just it didn't hit like where the joint was. It kind of hit where further where my toes were.
yep,
So it just hyperextended it a little bit, and the swelling was fucked that day.
yeah,
I didn't think I was going to be able to play the second game. I iced it for like an hour or so, and it's all good now. The swelling went down and
yeah,
everything, and I'm fine. But I just got to realize that I got to take it easy, and I got to wear an ankle brace next year or
yeah.
like a wrap or something, just in case it does happen, that I can have something to stop the swelling.
Yeah, fucking wear a knee brace every time I pretty much do any sort of sport besides golf. I
Yeah.
mean, like I just have to. If I'm playing pickup basketball or tennis or whatever,
Hmm.
I have to wear a knee brace. The change in direction is just too much.
Yeah.
If you have, like you said, you've had issues with that before. First
Yeah.
time you have the issue, it's time to fucking strap the brace on. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but we're getting there. Like we're old. We're
Yeah.
not
Me more.
not the same.
No, I just turned 25, dude. I'm still hitting my peak.
Yeah, it's true.
Peak in soccer years is like 27, 28.
Yeah, it's true.
Or if you're Ronaldo, you're still in your prime.
Yeah, Penaldo. Let's talk about Penaldo. Let's get into the round of 16 recap. That was one of the longest intros we've done in a long time.
Yeah.
The first game, Wales versus Denmark. This game occurred on Saturday, June 26th. An absolute slaughter. I
Yep.
don't know
Your boys.
what
Your boys let you
I
down.
don't know what I was thinking. I thought Denmark were frauds. I
Nope.
didn't say they were frauds. I just didn't think
You just fully backed your Welsh boys.
I did. And
You were loyal.
I truly didn't think that Denmark would be able to put on a performance quite like this. And you had guys like Casper Dolberg, a brace in this game, one in the 27th, one in the 48th. This was a bit of an international coming out party for him. I mean, he was absolutely unbelievable. Early on in the tournament, didn't make too much of an impact. Although he didn't get, I guess, a ton of chances to make an impact.
Nope.
But he looked unbelievable in this game. He looked really, really good.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of dominant all the way through. Wales had a red, but it didn't happen until the 90th.
Hmm.
Just the entire game for the most part was kind of a bloodbath. They didn't really have many shots on target, especially when you consider that Denmark had 8. Denmark also controlled the possession and were a better passing team. I just think that they had much more structure, and Wales lack a coach with a connection to the squad, with experience with the squad, and I just think you could see it in some of the guys' faces. When Bale was asked if he'd be returning and playing with Wales again, he didn't want to answer. I think there's an air of I don't know, definitely disappointment, but certainly
Yeah.
something else as well with Wales, and they just weren't up to the task.
Yeah, it's hard to surpass your previous mark of semifinals because
Of course.
so many things had to go in your favor at certain moments, and Wales did a good job in the group stage to get where they were. They were slotted in possibly one of the best situations in the bracket, um, especially after the Ryan Giggs thing. Was he on the coaching staff before all that, or was he like just on his own?
I don't remember.
Because he had his whole sexual assault case
Yeah.
dropped on him and that, and
Yep.
I don't know if he was involved in that. But besides the point, Denmark, I said from the start, they just had more to play for, and they had more to just had more in the tank. I did call in our predictions that Dolberg would be a big guy for them, and he made his moment here, the brace. Taking advantage because it's not like you said, he gets a lot of minutes, especially in a competitive squad like this where guys don't get many chances to shine. You had other guys like Braithwaite get on the sheet and garbage time just to pad the stats. I think that's 3 goals for him now in the tournament.
Yep.
So he's catching up there. And overall, I mean, I'm happy that Denmark won, not only because I thought they would, but they get a favorable matchup against the Czech Republic. Um, Potentially they can make the semifinals, and it could be a great story if they make the final. Just the whole Ericsson thing, and it would be a great story to see. But I don't know if they're gonna make it that far. But if they play like this, they have a great shot to get to make it to the. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. What the fuck? I'm trying to like make it 2 or 3 different sports links in my head, like make it to the dance.
Yeah.
Is that what I was trying to say? The
Yeah.
big dance?
The big dance.
Whatever, but yeah, I'm just happy for Denmark.
Yeah, me too. It's good to see it. The Ericsson thing was just so huge. That feels like it was so long ago now too, and it really wasn't. It was only 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's great to see. It's great to see Denmark advance. I got no hate in my heart for Denmark. A bit disappointed in my Welsh lads, but
Yeah.
we'll move on. Italy 2, Austria 1, an absolute heartbreaker for an Austria side who refused to give up. Federico Chiesa was the opening scorer in the 95th minute. This was an action-packed extra time. Absolutely unbelievable. A 0-0 draw in full time. Chiesa opened the scoring in the 95th. Kalajic scored in the 114th. Oh no. Didn't Italy score twice? They scored two, and then
twice
and
in the
Austria
first
pulled one
half.
back. Yeah,
Yeah, in the
yeah.
first extra time, it was 2-0, and then Austria pulled one back in the second.
Yeah, so Chiesa and Pessina, names that you wouldn't really expect to see on the score sheet. And then Austria with Sasa Kalajic in the 114th. Ultimately, that wasn't enough to make the game go to pens. Italy were, I'd say, dominant in this game, but there was something about the Austria team that really spoke to me because they just didn't lay down. They got peppered for the entirety of full time by an Italy side who are full of or that team is just so much better on paper than Austria, and they didn't want to lay down. They Austria just put in so much effort to make sure that everything was covered, and make sure that nobody could get through on goal. And I think that you have Hinteregger and Alaba really to thank for that. Dragovic and Lehner both played a great game as well, but Italy were the team to eventually outclass them, as they should. I mean, I think we all expected Italy to make it through here. And I don't know about you, but I think Italy grinding this one out so late and getting goals out of players that you wouldn't maybe normally expect is a sign that they could actually go on, for me, to go on and actually win this tournament. They, I think, look better, stronger, and more consistent than any other team, even England. England are having to get these performances out of Raheem Sterling in order to advance. So for me, I mean, I think Italy right now are probably my odds-on favorite to win the tournament. This is the game that I needed to see to fully believe. Do you have anything to say about this one? Anything special?
I was gonna say that Austria have met Italy in one of these major international tournaments 5 times, and they've lost every single one.
Pain.
So yeah, they're used to that. But yeah, like you said, Italy really grind this out, and like those are matches that you need to see to really gain to get faith in betting on them, and just to have faith that they can do it if it comes this again. I mean, 4 out of the 8 round of 16 matches went into extra time, so a lot of teams playing conservative and really grinding these games out, like you said. Um, Jorginho's quietly putting in good shifts in there. I've seen articles about him. He's planning on sticking out his contract at Chelsea, being loyal to it until the end. So that's nice to see. I mean, me personally, I'd rather see him moved on and we've slip Rice in there. But that's besides the point. For international football, he's doing well and the country's doing well. Now that Austria scored in this game, England's the only team now that hasn't conceded a goal in the tournament, which is something not a lot of people would have thought. But yeah, I'm sad to see Austria lose this. I think we were talking about that they might have been the best to upset out of all the big matchups in the round of 16. But yeah, Italy were just too much, and the legs were just there for them, and Austria just didn't have enough star quality up top. So I'm it's going to be a great matchup against Belgium. There's going to be a lot of talk about that. Who's going to dominate that? Is it going to be structure of Italy, or is it going to be the creativity of Belgium's attacking players? So we'll touch on that later, but Italy well deserved.
Yeah. Good on them. I actually hope they win the tournament. They're definitely my team that I'm rooting for. Next game, Netherlands versus the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic advance to the European Championship semifinals. How in the world? Souček, the man himself, is finding himself in rarefied air this season. An excellent finish with West Ham, and an excellent finish whether they win this next game or not with the Czech Republic. Just a great bit of form and placement for him. This game, I would like to say that Netherlands beat themselves more than anything else. De Ligt getting that red card in the 55th minute was certainly where the game took a turn for the worse. Tomas Hollis and Patrick Schick, who's become a household name in this tournament, were the two to score the goals, both coming in the second half, one in the 68th and another in the 80th. The red card by De Ligt in the 55th was certainly the kiss of death. It didn't look like they were up to the task anyway. No shots on target. That was the first time Netherlands didn't register a shot on target in, like, I think they said like 10 or 11 years in an international tournament. So that's an unbelievable statistic. And Switzerland were a far better team. It seemed like the Netherlands held on to the ball more, 52% possession to Czech Republic's 48%, but in an offensive sense, the Czech Republic were far superior. I don't know. There was a couple games where the Netherlands looked really good. I thought they'd be mid at the very beginning, and then they showed me that they had some real class and talent. But when it comes down to it, this is the kind of game that matters. And the good guys, Depay especially, disappeared. He was a ghost.
Yeah, it's saying the Netherlands are the first side to win 100% of their group stage games before losing in 90 minutes in the first knockout round at a Euro
Wow.
Championship tournament. And then also to follow that, the Czech Republic have won 5 of their last 7 games against the Dutch, including both of their meetings in this run that came at the Euros. So great to see an upset here. Wasn't the one we thought. Czech Republic, one of those third place teams that squeaked in. A couple of those third place teams making it to the quarters. I think 3 of the 4 third place teams won their matchups, so that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Um,
actually nuts.
so that shows that that ruling is possible, that not possible. What the fuck am I trying to say? That it was a good judgment call and that these upsets can happen. Not it's not always chalk. So for Czech Republic, Schick increases his goal tally to 4 now, only 1 behind Ronaldo, still as the goal leader for the tournament. He should definitely have a good shot against Denmark to equalize it, if not pass him. Yeah, like you said, the De Ligt red card was awful. Just
Awful.
tripping on his feet and just grabbing the ball as he was falling down. If you were in a situation though, would you do the same thing, or would you just let that guy take a breakaway and just have faith in Stecklenburg to do something?
Well,
Like, what would your
I think Stecklenburg is shit, but I think I feel like I'd much rather let as a player on the Netherlands, you have Depay on your team, right? You know how good he is and how prolific of a scorer he can be at a club level. And really, I mean, in this tournament, he's played all right. I think you have a better chance of letting him go in on Stecklenburg, maybe score, maybe not, and be down 1-0.
Yeah, that's what I was
And
thinking.
know that you are still in the game and you can still play a serious role. Because De Ligt
Yeah.
is a great center back. I mean, he's very very good by pretty much all metrics.
Yeah, he's an integral part to the defense, and like you
Yeah,
said, I'd rather go down 1-0 with 11 players rather than um 0-0 with 10, because now it's a totally tactically different game.
yeah,
More so if you're down to 10 rather than being down 1-0, because if you're down 1-0 with a full 11, you can easily sub a defender out and put another attacking player in, and there's more cover there. But with 10 now, it's a psychological disadvantage for you that there's more ground to cover and the other team's going to have the chance to have the ball more, and it showed. And eventually Czechs just wore 'em out, and there wasn't enough opportunities for the Dutch to score. I know Dumfries had a couple. He's been getting really involved in the attack. That's good signs.
yeah,
If people are trying to sign him for the upcoming season, but losing De Ligt as a central key component to the defense is huge, because now you have De Vrij, who's not as big of a leader as De Ligt is, and Blind, who doesn't have the same legs he used to. And then, like you said, just not a fully established goalkeeper in Stecklenburg that people have confidence in. Is it just ultimately doesn't work out, and Czech Republic move on to a matchup with Denmark, which, if I'm England, I said this to somebody at work, that England this whole tournament have gotten so lucky with their draws. They got drawn into a reasonable group, and then they finish in a position that put them in the better side of the bracket. I mean, yeah, they did have to play Germany, but they overcame that challenge, and now they're going to play the Ukraine and then the winner of the Czechs and Danish. So, I mean, as this rate, if you're an England fan or a neutral, you're thinking England are making the final.
yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue against that for sure. Okay. Let us move on to uh one of my more enjoyed games of the this is around a 16. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I misspoke earlier, by the way. I said that the Czech Republic would be advancing to the semifinals. They'll be advancing to the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay, Belgium 1, Portugal 0. Thorgan Hazard and the Belgian squad managed to eliminate Portugal with a 42nd minute goal That was all there was to separate the teams. Now, on paper, Portugal should have won this game. 23 shots to Belgium's 6, 4 shots on target to Belgium's 1, and Portugal also controlled the game with 58% possession. So I thought that this was a absolute stalwart Pepe performance. Like, this was the Pepe blast from the past, from the Madrid days. He was such a fucking asshole in this game. He should have been sent off probably 2 times over. And I was giggling the entire time. Like, Belgium's gonna knock once Thorgan Hazard scored, I was like, Belgium's gonna knock them out. They're gonna get knocked out. They're gonna get knocked out. And I don't like to see Ronaldo win, and I don't really want to see Pepe win ever. But the rest of the guys on this team, I have a lot of love for some of these guys. I think Jota's immense. I think he's a great player. João Moutinho, I really like him as well. And then Renato Sanchez, I got a little bit of love in my heart for him too. I'm kind of invested in his development. So it was unfortunate to see Portugal get knocked out, especially when I think they played a much better game than Belgium did. But there's really not much you can say. No penalties, I guess, for Ronaldo. You can't win if you don't get any pens.
Yeah, I'm looking here now. There's potential rumors of Renato Sanchez coming to Arsenal.
Oh, there is. Yeah, I know.
I've seen the messages between him and Gabriel.
Yep.
They used to be past teammates in France, but besides the point, this out of all the games, I was surprised at the scoreline for this one because I really thought this was going to be a barn burner.
Yeah.
I was heavy on the overs club here because I thought both defenses were going to fold, but it ended up not, and it was tactically a great game to watch as a manager or like a coach because you're seeing matchups all over the field working out. The Hazard brothers getting in there. I think a big loss for Portugal was not having João Cancelo out there. I forget why he wasn't there. Was it COVID or what was his deal? I forget.
Who exactly?
João Cancelo, the right back from City.
I don't remember.
He wasn't even in the squad. He started out.
It must have been it was COVID because he was in the squad.
It's ridiculous because you lose him with so much experience and quality there. You put a young guy like Dalot from United, who's only 22,
Yeah.
not much experience, and in a matchup like this, you really need somebody bombing forward, whipping balls into Ron. So that's tough scenes there. But ultimately, Belgium did win. I thought they would. I think Portugal going out here is sad because if Ronaldo got through, he probably would have had another 2 or 3 goals to add on to the record. He still sits tied with 109 all time, so he'll probably stay until he breaks that easily. But yeah, what I was seeing here, it says this was Belgium's first win against Portugal since 1989 in a World Cup qualifier. So that ends a 32-year drought there. Great to see that. And then it sets up a great matchup with Belgium and Italy, which could be a finals matchup if things worked out in different ways. But we're spoiled here with great matchups, and this is probably the best out of the 4 for the quarterfinals. So Belgium by far have the hardest road to get into the final. And once they're there, they may be a little bit spent, especially if they go into extra time in a couple games here and there in the shootouts. It might drain the players a little bit too much, whereas England have just been doing their thing 90 minutes and going home. So it'll be interesting to see what will happen next.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's move on to the actual barn burner. Croatia 3, Spain 5.
I thought they had it.
I mean, I thought that Croatia were going to work their way back into this game. They were playing without their heart and soul. Ivan Perisic, who I think is so integral. But they did manage to put out a decent team sheet. You do have the likes of Kovacic, Modric, Rebic, who is playing for Milan these days, I think. He's had a storied career in the Bundesliga as well. Up against Spain side who haven't made much changes. Defensively, I thought Spain were pretty fucking poor. They let Croatia get back in a multitude of times. The first goal was a Pedri own goal. That
Oh my God.
that was just an absolute howler, dude. That was so bad.
Not by far one of the worst own goals
It
out
was
there.
it was awful. Um, so that was the first goal. Croatia went up 1-0, and then Sarabia, Azpilicueta, and Ferran Torres managed to score after that. So you had a goal in the first half from Spain, the two in the second half. Um, and really just after that, like Orsic and Pasalic, they both scored in the dying embers of the game to draw it to 3-3. And that the choke that you have to the amount of choke, I should say, is just astronomical. Like, this Spain team is exactly who I thought they were. They will not advance past this. They will not. There is no way this was a fluke. They just don't have it. I don't know how they managed to get by here. Fucking Morata, out of nowhere, dude. He finds it. He finds it. He hasn't found it in the past 5 years of his career, and he fucking found it. And he scored, and he put them ahead in extra time. And then the Oyarzabal goal, I mean, that's just, they were riding high after the Morata thing, and Croatia were down bad. But this was super entertaining to watch. I had Croatia money line. They were plus 550. The value was unbelievable. Going into this game, I was so confident in Croatia. And then I realized, it wasn't going to matter because they lost anyway. But the fucking bets, dude, you need to do full time plus extra time.
Yeah, I was about to mention that because
Well,
I've had troubles in the past in the MLS playoffs. The same deal.
well, they hide it. They hide it
They do it on
so
purpose.
intricately. They will put it in the absolute deepest subsection of a menu so that you can't bet it. And it's so fucking ridiculous. It should be illegal. It's disgusting. I can never find it when I want it, and I go, I'm fine. Like, they'll win it. They'll win in full time. And every single time, it burns me, dude. I haven't lost money, but I've literally lost out on so much profit. Like, the Club World Cup last year was won with Bayern. Dude, they won it in extra time. It would have been like the payday was like I had a couple underdogs and Bayern because they were only like minus 175 or something. The payday would have been like $1,200, and I lost because I didn't do the full time extra time. But yeah, back to the game. I mean, do you have anything to say about this? I think it was a Croatia collapse, and I don't think Spain are that good, man. They're not 5 goals good. They're not.
Yeah, I agree with you that Spain aren't this good, but I think we do have to give them credit to their style and how they've been playing. They're definitely the most dominant team in this tournament in possession,
In
hands
possession,
down.
sure, yeah.
They know how to control the ball. That's always how the Spanish mentality's been over the past couple of decades, is possession and always having the ball to control the tempo of the game. And that's something they do well. I really like their midfield players. They got quality guys in there that can control the ball, and they have great subs off the bench to do so too. It just comes down to their attack and what they make of their opportunities. They get a fuckload of chances, but they're just not finishing in the right areas. And we can keep ragging on Morata, but there are other guys on the field that aren't stepping up either as much. They're going to have to pick up the load. Sarabia now, back-to-back games with goals, and Fernan Torres getting in there. They've scored 11 goals in the tournament in 4 games, but 10 of those have come in the last 2. Absolute rout against Slovakia, and now against a decent Croatia team. So there is a little bit of credit to give them because of the style of play they have. It gives them enough opportunities to where they have to score some of them. They get 20 shots a game pretty much now, and they have to score at least 2 or 3 of them, and I think they'd win because their defense can hold up a little bit. But going up against higher quality teams is going to be an interesting opportunity because it might take possession away from them. They're going to have to rely more on their defensive structure, and they might not size up well to other teams. Their defense is not the biggest. With Garcia and Aspie and Gaia, those guys are all 6 feet or under. So when it comes to playing teams like Belgium with Lukaku, potentially in the semifinals, they might get bullied over with the passing quality of De Bruyne in there. So that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. They have to go through Switzerland, who we'll touch on, had an absolute miracle of a win. But yeah, I really thought, like you said, I thought Croatia had this, and these 90th minute goals are just absolutely absurd. The amount of late goals in this tournament is crazy. Fitness is major. This, if you guys don't understand by now, fitness is huge. There's been, what is this, 13, 29, what's that? 42 goals in the first half of games, whereas in the second half, there's been, what's that, 70. So the increase in goals, and this is in all the matches so far, 20 to 30 more goals in the second half is huge. That just shows the legs and the fatigue that these players have had. They play in all year, cram schedules through club, through league play, through whatchamacallit, European matches. Like, it's crazy, and they get no rest. So it shows in the latter stages of the game. I gotta like slow down. I like speed talk sometimes.
It's all right.
What was I gonna say? And the substitution rules that changed helps a lot, because I'm seeing like 5-6 subs a game. So that's good to see. I think that's something that's been overdue. It helps with rotating guys and resting players, and also gives opportunities to a lot more players on the bench, because they take 23-man squads, 26-man squads of these tournaments, and 8 or 9 of them probably never play if there's only 3 subs a match. So evens out that. But yeah, I'm glad there was a high scoring game like this. Wasn't expecting it to be this match, but entertaining as a neutral. I'll say that.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's move on. We'll pick this up too, because we're getting lengthy. France versus Switzerland, another barn burner. Not a game that I thought would go this way. Switzerland win the game 5-4 in penalties. Karim the Dream Benzema was the player of the match for me. Haris Seferovic was the opening scorer. He plays for Benfica, I think. He scored in the 15th, and then it was all was quiet until the 57th minute, when Karim Benzema struck for the first time. In the 59th, Benzema added another to his name to secure a brace for himself, and then Pogba added a third. I thought this would be it. When Pogba scored in the 75th minute, I thought that Switzerland were surely finished. But Seferovic had different plans. He scored in the 81st to draw Switzerland back to 3-2, and then Gavranovic scored in the 90th minute. The 90th minute cheese hit, and that was it. I mean, they had to go into extra time. They played 2 periods of extra time with no result there. Game had to go to penalties, and then speed merchant Mbappe, he sold hard. And that was it. Switzerland advanced through France and absolutely blow my bracket to fucking bits.
Yep.
I can't believe that France let this get away from them. They were a dominant team, 26 shots to Switzerland's 12, but Switzerland were just more clinical. Seferovic, absolutely fantastic in this one. Should be very proud of himself and of his team. He made Xhaka look like an all-star. He looked great. He was controlling the middle of the pitch. Freuler, underrated player, I think, this Euro. He's been really, really solid in the middle of the park. And overall, they were so strong. You didn't see Shaqiri in this game. What's up with him? Oh, yeah, no. Shaqiri did play. He did play.
He played. He got subbed off.
He got subbed
off before all the craziness happened.
Yeah.
I mean, Seferovic, great match for him. 2 headers. Comes down to defending. Positionally, he just gets away from his defenders very well, and whip balls in behind the defenders are tough to defend. I mean, key moment for me, Lloris saving the penalty early on against Rodriguez. That was huge. Gave some confidence to France. Benzema coming in, getting a quick brace is massive. Just a quick and intricate play with those French players, Griezmann and Mbappe. Potentially drama between them, but probably just rumors and just random people saying shit just to get headlines. But great to see him. I'm most upset about not getting to see Pogba play more because he was a joy to watch. I said that last
It was
week.
awesome.
Hits an absolute beauty to get that 3-1 lead, top bins, potentially in that whatchamacallit, who'd they play? The Portugal game that one Patricio save would have been even better. But yeah, he's been a joy to watch. Obviously, like you said before, he has Conte in there to do most of his duties defensively for him, so he can openly just play forward. We'll see if he makes a move from United or not, because they're gonna have to start selling people to cover these funds that they just made for Sancho and potentially Varane, another one of his French teammates. But yeah, I mean, Switzerland scoring in the 90th minute, 81st as well, just comes down to not mentally being locked in. I mean, these closing minutes, I said it before, I'll say it again. You need to close games out and you need to be mentally there. And maybe managerially, you need to make some substitutions there for fresh legs in the back to secure those wins. I mean, going 3-1 up against a team like this with 15 left, he should have put another defender in just to secure things up. I mean, it's easy to say now, hindsight's 2020, but you can't leave any openings for the other team to expose you. Even if you're a massive favorite like France against Switzerland, things like this can happen. And when it comes to penalties, anything can happen. You can
Yeah.
never really have 100% faith in any of these shooters, and it can happen to the best of them. You see Mbappe got his saved. It's tough, but it happens. So, and one more thing, I don't know how Musa Sissoko is still in the squad.
Bro,
That
he
blows
looked
my mind.
good. He looked good. He did.
Did he?
He put in a shift. Yes, he did. I was shocked. I watched this with my brother, and I was like, "Bro, who the fuck is on the wing?" And he's like, "Oh, it's Sissoko." I was like, "Oh, excuse me." And then I watched the entire game like that he played. I thought he played really well.
Well, well, then credit to him. I'll take that back. But he's had stinkers with Tottenham in the
He
past.
shouldn't be in the squad though. There's no
I don't know.
reason for him to be in the
I don't
squad.
know how he gets in there, but Ben Yedder can't get a lick of time in there.
Yeah, that's true.
That guy's a baller.
He is. He's a demon.
I thought Giroud had the winner. I thought he had the
Me
winner, man. He had
too.
a
He
couple
he
looks.
fucking goosed it though. He just
Oh,
he kicked it right into he kicked it into the defender and then it hit Mbappe and they didn't even get a corner out of that one.
yeah, but the shootout worked out well. If anybody wants to go watch that, there's a clinic of how to take penalties. Some of those. Pogba's was my favorite. That guy is playing with absolute confidence. It's
Yeah.
awesome to
Well, he
watch.
only does that in a France shirt.
Yeah, that's true. But we'll
Yeah.
see with Sancho in there what he's gonna do. Maybe he'll come in more dances
Yeah.
before he leaves when his contract expires. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Switzerland face an even tougher team in form.
Yeah.
In Spain now, they might potentially have even more problems because Spain control the ball even better than France.
Yeah. Dude, Griezmann fucking sucks. And Mbappe, like, what were you doing? Honestly. He's supposed to be like the best player in the world. What the fuck was that? That
Did
was
he
a
even have?
that was an
He didn't
awful
even have a
tournament.
goal.
No, it was an
Did he not have a goal in the? Yeah, he
awful.
didn't score. He didn't score in the tournament.
That was a piss poor tournament from him. Like horrendous. That's what happens when you play in a farmers league. Just saying.
Mm.
All right, let's move on. England 2, Germany 0. Raheem Sterling and Sir Harry Kane of Tottenham were the players to make a difference in this one. It was level until the 75th minute when Raheem Sterling netted his third and England's third goal of the tournament. This guy's conversion rate in this Euro is just unreal. When he scored, I was just giggling like a fucking kid. I was like, how in the fucking world of all people is Raheem Sterling the guy that's getting it done for England? There was talk about him not making the team. Southgate got slated because he put him on the team. I don't think Raz has as much in the tank as he used to, but I cannot take away from him how clutch and how clinical he has been in this tournament. I mean, It is really, really impressive, and I think that we have to give him all the credit in the world. Um, a reporter asked him after the game, "Do you think this justifies your selection?" And he just kind of did like the eyes, you know. What an absolutely silly question that was. I know the ball's fallen to him a couple times, and that's why he's been the one to score. But you cannot take away the fact that he's put these chances away. He's been the
Mhm.
one. He's been the one to put them ahead when they need to be. And really, I mean, kind of been the savior of the tournament. Everybody else just couldn't get it done. Kane not great in this game, but he looked better in terms of the runs he was making inside the 18 and 6. That was a really great finish from him, kind of a diving like on his knees header.
Mhm.
But really great service from Grealish too. So it's actually really cool. I think when Grealish comes on, the crowd goes nuts. Like they
Yeah.
love him. And there was a couple of really good performances here. Saka looked great again. I
Your boy
think
getting the start.
he looked awesome, man. He's really developing. It makes me so happy to see. And then Declan Rice, I feel like probably shouldn't even be in the squad. Like he's looked really poor. I think in
Really.
a lot of these games. Everybody has seen different things. I've had a couple conversations with a couple of my friends that are from England, and some of them like him. Some of them think that he just hasn't really been up to the task. But I think he's been quite poor, and I think Shaw was kind of poor here after coming off a really good season with United. But you can't put all the blame on them. I think this is a good result for England. Germany looked,
Us.
they looked sus.
I
Yeah,
knew. I
they were
knew.
toothless.
I knew the Chelsea times with Havertz and Werner would come to the surface eventually in this tournament. I knew they would have shit moments and that would just let them down. But the biggest letdown, I should say, for Germany didn't even come from them. It was from Muller. A breakaway, you could just slide it past Pickford and get him back in it. Misses it wide. That's something from him, especially as a veteran, as a leader for this team for the past decade or so. You'd think he slid away, and to have him miss out of all people is kind of disheartening. But yeah, I mean, England's lineup when they matched up like for like against Germany here was interesting. You
Yeah,
didn't expect. I think Maguire got the start here. Did he? I don't. I'm not sure if he started in their Czech game because I haven't been
I
watching as much
don't
due to work.
remember.
But now that he's back in there, you don't have Mings in there, and then he slid Walker into a central defensive position. Pep's done that a little bit, but it gives Trippier and Luke Shaw the opportunity to push forward more. And when he has Phillips and Rice in there, they're more defensive minded. Rice more um, gives opportunity for Saka, Kane, and Sterling to stay up and have more attacking opportunities. So it, I'm going to give credit to Southgate here. I mean, they still haven't conceded a goal, so something's working for them. They get a favorable matchup against Ukraine, who came in that last third place position. So it just keeps going their way. I don't want to say anything too soon, but it's just looking good for them. Germany finished where I thought they would. I didn't think their squad would make it this far coming up against an England team like this. They do have very good individual players, but Mueller said it himself that it's the team first. That's why you don't see a lot of Germans get individual recognition. But he said it ultimately comes down to the stars on the jerseys, and this wasn't one of those performances for them. So Germany goes home. They get some nice deserved rest before clubs picks back up. Happy for Havertz and Werner to get some rest before they head back to Chelsea. But I don't know. I don't know about the England team. I don't know if they actually get into a dogfight match, if they can mentally stay in it. So we'll see when they concede that first goal, what their reaction is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I just feel like every time England haven't been tested, like
Right.
they're not getting tested in some of these games that I feel like should be tighter, and teams are like letting them slip through, and they're not marking Raheem Sterling, which is like Just mark him. He's not as fast as he used to be. Just mark him. He's the one that's scoring. Please mark him because he's slipping and sliding through. And it seems so simple, but I suppose it's not in the grand scheme of things. But he is the guy that they're going to when they need a goal. That is
Big flopper. King of the
yeah,
flop.
that's true. I guess that's true. You do have to worry about that when you're guarding him. But yeah, England 2, Germany no. Good result for England. I was kind of hoping to see Germany go through, but
Yeah.
they have guys that I like. But let's move on. Unfortunately, this game was
Ugh,
poverty.
tough.
This game
Tough.
was tough, dude. Sweden 1, Ukraine 2. It
I'll start if
was
you want.
yeah, just go ahead.
Yeah, it's tough. And now that it's marinated in for a couple of days, it's really tough to look back on. He had guys like Forsberg scored in this game. He had 4 in the tournament, which is awesome for him individually. But um, these games going into extra time, anything can fucking happen.
I know.
And it gives opportunities to Ukraine, who, in their mind, get a round of 16 is like winning the whole thing. If I'm them, getting into this position, it's everything afterwards is fucking gravy. And
Yeah.
Shevchenko is not the best manager in this remaining teams, but he gets the most out of his guys. And that goal, I was able to watch this game live actually, that in those extra time periods, and that goal in the 121st minute was just it just ultimately came down to who wanted it more, and it was a perfect ball in. If he was ruled offsides by VAR for a fingernail,
I know,
that
bro.
would have been,
I
and they
know.
lost in PKs, that would have been absolutely insane.
I
But
know.
the right decision was made ultimately, and you get a story like this, like Ukraine winning. Now I think they're playing England in Italy now, so that's one thing. Everybody keeps traveling for these games, and it's kind of tough because you have to deal with the jet lag and having to spend time traveling, whereas you can be resting.
Yeah.
So that's different, but kind of upsetting for Sweden because they had great moments in the tournament for players. I just saw that Isak got a move to Real Sociedad from
Yep.
Dortmund. So Dortmund lose another player, so they keep getting plucked off one by one. We'll see if Holland moves. Potentially Chelsea are going to sell like 5 people to get him.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't think it's the right move to get him. It's one of those things that as a club mentality, it's we buy people just to have them so other people can't. That's one thing I've seen over the years they do, and then they don't play those guys. Rarely they do. But I mean, I'm not it's crazy to say I don't want to get Holland because he's the hottest guy when it comes to football right now in skill and talent and potential overall. But I just don't think as a team overall that's where our focuses need to be. I think that's more as like we need to invest defensively because we got a guy that's gonna be 38 years old playing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's where our money should be spent right now.
Yeah.
Um, but that's a different story. We'll touch on that at a different time. But um, yeah, Ukraine moving on, closing out the round of 16.
Yeah. I mean, just sad. Like so sad. I really I've been riding and dying with Sweden, and this was a really sad game for me.
Was
They
Zlatan made of? What did Zlatan have made a difference?
nah, no way. Forsberg's the guy here, and really just letting the fucking Dovbeak score in the 121st minute. Literally, who is that? Artem Dovbeak. Who the fuck is that? Um, I don't know, man. This defense, this Swedish defense was okay. In a lot of these games, and they just weren't in this game. That's you live and die by your defense in the Euro. I think in a lot of international tournaments, and when Vindelof is or Lindelof is your leader, or maybe not leader, but probably the best defender in the team. Um, that's tough. That's tough. That was always gonna be the sword we fell on, and it's unfortunate, but at least Sweden got out of the groups. That's all I really wanted from them. I had them going a little deeper, but it was good to see Isak kind of like secure himself. I think his performance in some of these games was part of the reason that some of these teams were willing to go out and pull the trigger on him. So he's going to Sociedad, where he will get the chance to play with some other excellent players and hopefully develop. He's pretty young still, I think. So that's a really good thing to see, and it's good. It's always good to watch them play. I wish Ireland were in this tournament. It would have been nice to see them play too, but they
Oh
suck.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
He's only 21. He'll be 22 in September.
Yeah, so they wanted to lock him in until 2026 is what I saw.
Yep.
I don't see that happening. If he manages to
Two years down the
continually
line.
develop, then he should be getting himself a move to a better team, and I think his potential is actually very, very high. So, yeah, great to see. Not much else to say. I don't know the Ukraine, like really, really, they're in they're in the quarters. Like that's the team that's in the quarters. Unbelievable.
Is it crazier to think Switzerland in there or Ukraine?
Fucking Ukraine. Switzerland, I can name some of the players. I can't name you a
Yeah.
single player on Ukraine besides Yarmolenko.
Yeah, it's wild. Like I said at the start of the breakdown, like 3 of the 4 third place teams won. The only one that didn't get through was who was it? Who was the other third place team that made it didn't win? Was it Sweden? No, they finished
Were
second.
Wales a third place team?
It was Portugal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Portugal. So that would have been crazy if they made it through. But yeah, it shapes out to this. I don't think we need to break down each game by game. We kind of said that already in our predictions. So unless you want to,
No, I'm good. I mean, we're at an hour now. We're trying to
yeah,
keep this short. We wound up going over anyway, but
yeah,
I think the next couple shows, we're gonna try and throw some transfer news and rumors in with our analysis of the games.
yeah.
And then I
There
think
won't be as many games.
yeah, there's not going to be as much talk about that talk about. So yeah, we'll throw those transfer rumors into the next show. Thank you guys for listening to this show. It seems like we've been getting quite a few views on these shows compared to what we were getting on those old Prem shows at the end of the season. So I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the content. Well, we appreciate the views, the listens. Make sure you check us out on social media at Post20Pod. Twitter and Instagram is really where we're active. And then make sure you check us out anywhere really that podcasts are found. We're on Soundcloud. It's kind of our primary one. Seems like we get a lot of views through that. But we are also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I just got an issue resolved with Spotify. We weren't showing up in searches, but I got us back out there. Yeah, so we're good. If you guys are looking for us on Spotify, we're back on there. I didn't even know we were off, but I guess we were. And we're on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. So check us out there. Check us out on YouTube at Post20Pod as well. And that's really all I have. Anything for you, Matt?
Nope. Thank you guys so much. Have a safe holiday weekend. I'm sure it'll be a lot more fun for you guys than it will be for us, but that's how the cookie crumbles. And other than that, we'll see you next time.
All right. Take care, guys.